Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time it's Once Upon a Time, Season 2, Episode 20, the penultimate episode before the two-part finale. Super excited for this, especially with Hook's reintroduction into the story. As I said, he made the Tamara scenes infinitely more bearable for me at this moment in time. I don't know if Tamara is gonna grow on me the more we get to know about her, but because we do know barely anything about her and she's already been causing so much havoc and disruption, I have an innate rejection to her. So I hope that this can be somewhat alleviated in the future. But like I said, the reintroduction of Hook and involving her, I can't talk. Reintroducing Hook and involving him in her shenanigans is going to go a long way to getting me to care about those shenanigans from, like, I'm invested in what you're doing kind of level. Like, I'll basically be on Hook's side throughout any of the interactions here, but I have no idea where this is actually going to go, because as I said, I don't know what it is that Tamara wants, unless that was explained and I've forgotten. But if everything about her is still a mystery, then fair enough. I think I forgot to mention this in the previous reaction, but I have been told that Tamara's invincible taser was memed, which I'm really glad for, because that did seem really strange. That apparently became a huge fandom meme, taking the mickey out of how ridiculous those moments were. Like, it somehow kills a man made of wood, it somehow takes down a dragon man, albeit before he could transform. You know, very weird and overpowered, like. And I'm glad that the fandom actually put question marks over that and memed the shit out of it. But I've apparently been told not to pay too much mind to that, because it was sort of just then, and then it doesn't come up again. That remains to be seen. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, I'm completely blind on this show, but I know that some people trying to soften me on Tamara that actually said that there was some ridiculous things about her introduction that have been memed, and so that makes me glad. Makes me glad that I'm probably not the only one that was feeling the way that I was feeling. So yeah, and this is all without mentioning what I really loved about the previous episode, which was the expansion on the relationship developments in the past between Rumpelstiltskin and Belle. I thought it was really sweet looking, to show the more gradual progression of her thawing her way into his heart. I thought it was, I love that kind of story. And what's really intrigued me, as I said in the discussion of the previous episode, is that Belle's cursed self, Lacey, she seems quite the bad girl, and she likes the sadistic side of Rumpel. So, and there's also the fact that quite a while back now in this season, David made a speech to the townspeople saying, "We are both." Like, both of our lives came from our actual personalities, so like, with the knowledge that we had at the time, those are still decisions we would have made. Like, we were still ourselves, but with cursed memories. Like, so it's like, I wouldn't trade being one for being the other, and vice versa. Like, as was the episode title, we are both. So that means this is Belle's hidden side that makes me think that part of the graduation, the gradual change of feelings she went through in the Enchanted Forest, a part of me is starting to think that there was somewhere deep inside of her an innate attraction to Rumpel's dark nature, if that makes sense. Like more of the typical, oh, I'm a girl that likes a bad boy kind of thing, the cliche, you know. I can't help but feel this is basically saying that this is the little part of her given life. That little part of her given life as Lacey. Like everybody has different shades of personality deep down. So I'm wondering, is this also a part of the equation? Even if it's only like 3% of it. That's what I'm trying to say. So like overall, the actual Belle is, you know, she is pure, she is nice, she wants to bring the best out of him and stuff. But I do wonder, since the characters are always both, so, you know, if Lacey is still a part of Belle, there is a slight, even if it's only slight, because obviously with no other memories, this is like her overriding personality at the moment as her cursed self. But I'm just wondering, when compared to her enchanted self, or a self with all her memories, I'm wondering if this is not just a little part of the reason that she was attracted. Like, just a little bit. I'm not making any, like, you don't have to be typing at me saying, oh, that's not why she likes him at all. I know. I'm just saying, could there have been a droplet in there that this is... You know what I'm saying? It's like, this comes from somewhere. And basically, to get to the point of everything I was saying, the point I was making in the previous episode, I wonder where this could lead for them. Like, what if she doesn't become Belle for a while? What if she is going to keep encouraging Gold to sink deeper? Like, this whole time, fresh viewers like me have been anticipating a long build-up of Belle being back in his life and helping bring him back around to be a lighter person, a better person. Like, she's his moral anchor. But the thing is, we seem to have the opportunity to push things interestingly in the opposite direction. If he doesn't have to hold back and lose this girl, he could keep going down the path, and if her as Lacey likes seeing this side of him, she will encourage him. This could be setting a dangerous, toxic premise, and I'm intrigued. I'm so intrigued at how they could become the most terrible duo in Storybrooke. Like, I can't be the only one who started having these thoughts after that episode. Like, if any other Once Upon a Time reactors also got these same feelings as me, or these, like, premonitions as me, feel free to let me know who they are. Because there's a chance if I checked out all of their reactions, we might agree on a lot of things. But, yeah, that's basically what's been sticking with me since the previous episode. I'm excited to get into this one, so let's jump into it. Okay. Since this is all already converging, I'm less apprehensive of seeing Tamara on screen, so that's a positive. The intermingling with Hook and Regina, and how this has bubbled to a head with her being nerfed for now, with what I'm assuming they described it in a similar way to nanomachines messing with her biology, so she can't, like, tune into her magic right now. This puts her in an interesting position because now she can't even enact this so-called plan with unless the beans don't require her magic to work. Something that she's planning involves fair enough, we know that the beans can make a portal, but she's going to do something to it that makes it so Storybrooke is destroyed and everyone there dies. I don't quite get how that's supposed to work yet. And did she say that she's going to, like, enhance it in some way or curse it in some way? Because what I'm thinking is, if the beans are still just ordinary beans right now, and they open a portal to the Enchanted Forest, I assume if that's what you will them to open a portal to, I'm wondering, could this season end with Tamara being sent through and then it closes behind her, like, okay, we don't have to deal with her for now, she's been thrown off to the Enchanted Forest? That's a sort of mini prediction I've got going right now. Otherwise, I think it's been a while since I've been able to say this, but a real standout of this episode was little Henry. Not only does he show maturity beyond his years a lot of the time, especially since, like, the tail end of season 1 and onwards, the way he showed understanding and his helpfulness in this episode and just went along with things. And, you know, when Snow was trying to protect him from hearing information stuff or from thinking certain things, and he just comes out like, I've been listening the whole time, let's get on with it, I want to help. Like, everyone underestimates Henry, and even Emma is constantly being reminded, smart kid. Like, oh, Henry doesn't get the credit he deserves. And it was really cool getting to see insight into Regina's relationships with everyone. Obviously seeing the moment she transitioned into being the evil queen as self-acknowledged, that makes a lot more sense. So forget all that. Well, no, there is still some sort of dissonance. See, I think I won't retract my talk about how she's always had this mental dissonance. That's still there. It's just that she wasn't... because she was completely unaware of how everyone saw her, despite all of the things that she's done while blinded by revenge and power. That's really interesting to me. Yeah, she's always had this dissonance of not knowing. And then, so she finally learns what the people really think of her, and it shocks her. It surprises her. Like, despite everything that she's done, and I think that's really unique and interesting. Like, she in her grief and her desire for revenge over Snow White, it has literally clouded everything else out. She sees everything she does as justified. And then the people call her actions evil. And this even happened when she spoke with Henry. Like, it was like, oh, they're all trying to keep you away from me. They're evil. Like, it comes from her own little universe. Like, the aggressors are evil. Like, no matter what she herself is doing. And I think this will be the key to unlocking her full development. I think she needs to get over that mental barrier. That, just like Emma said to Regina in the previous episode, not everyone in the world is a schemer. Not everyone in the world is trying to get one over on you. Like, I think learning the distance, learning how to separate that distance is going to be the key to fully redeeming Regina's character. I mean, even with all the steps that she has made, due to the regression she's recently been doing since Cora came to town, Mary Margaret and Chum on set on having her be a part of their lives. Like, even though Henry wants to give her a chance, and even though she was making some progress, the steps back she's taken a minute, nah, we'll just have her live her life out in Rumpel's cell. Like, just be done with her. Like, yeah, Henry would be pissed learning that, but... wow. It really makes me hopeful for whatever Regina's gonna do that wins people's hearts back. Like, she will prove that she has that good in her, but I don't know yet how she is going to actually do that. I mean, we've got a finale about to happen, and Regina is unusually in a damsel in distress position. So there are all sorts that we could do with Regina in this finale, because for the first time in a while, she's in a position of helplessness. Something she is not used to being in, at least post Magic Awakening. So it makes me very excited and intrigued as to what we're going to get. Loved the amusing interactions as always, especially from Hook. The banter he gives people, he always looks so suave and sexy. Oh, he's great. Yeah, and I really like that we got that little bit more of Rumpel teaching Regina. Just like, oh, but I can train you how to transform yourself to look like someone else, but it took your mother months. Like, I can't just magically teach it to you that quickly, so I'll do it for you. And then the joy he got out of teasing her was so good. And yeah, I have to say that the most interesting thing about this episode was Regina's dissonance between what she was doing and what she thought about what she was doing. Like, the fact that she didn't see what she was doing as evil or worthy of hate, and she thought everyone should still love her, that's some psychosis right there. Like, that's deep trouble. She needs to be locked in a room with Dr. Hopper, Archie. She needs to be, like, in a room with him for about a month, just working through these issues, because that's deep. Okay, that's beyond the pale when it comes to, like, a mental block. Like, it makes me feel sorry for her, because in a way, if she wasn't even aware, that makes her a tragic case. That isn't what I'd call evil. That's what I'd call tragically deranged. And as long as you can find ways to fight those urges back and focus on doing positive acts, like, I'm sure Henry is going to be the biggest driving influence behind that, because it was for his sake she even said, I want to redeem myself earlier in the season. Like, and I believe her. It's just that Korra came along and made it so much harder again, because now she's fighting grief all over again. Like, she is in her second spell of, like, grief-driven revenge, and now she's even overheard Charming and she's overheard Charming and Snow talking about how they're gonna just leave her to rot, even if they can go back home, despite some of the effort that she's put forward to get in their good graces. Like, I can see why that might sting. Like, I know that she's made some regressions, but for them to write her off like that would still sting. And now she's trying to figure out how to get one up on them by destroying Storybrooke and just leaving with Henry. But of course, he wouldn't go for that and had to get his memory wiped. But this episode had a lot of intriguing roadmaps laid out to do with the thought processes of the characters and the potential paths that the characters could take from here. It's all fascinating to digest. And I have a feeling this is one of those seasons that is something that needs to be watched from front to back, like in a continuous marathon, to fully get the full effect of, because I feel like this is a giant shoe this season, and we have been threading the laces back and forth, and we're at the edge, we're at the top now, and the bow is about to fasten, and everything is going to come together. I love it. I love when a show can be this complex, but this well sewn together. It makes me think of what One Piece is to shonen manga. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm going to leave this off here by saying that my hype meter for the finale is extremely sufficient. I shall be getting to it first thing tomorrow, and I shall see you guys next time.